What's up to Lion Talk Live? We love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Do Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it is Saturday morning. It is Lions Talk Live. It is a morning show edition, and you know what? I think we got a little bit of news. You know, the further we get into the free agency window leading into the NFL draft, I think that it's becoming more and more clear what Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions' real game plan is for the offseason. We're going to dive into that during the main topic of the day. We're going to get into some aspects of it during the 5 headlines now. But so far this offseason, here's what I want to ask you guys. If you had to give a grade as of today for what Brad Holmes and the front office have done, let me know in the comments section. What would you give Brad Holmes in the team? Would you say, hey, Brad A, Brad F, Brad, I don't know, B plus or whatever? But overall, seeing all the moves, and if we can get this potential free agent during free agency, which I do think is a real possibility, even if it isn't this guy, I think we're going to be able to get somebody fairly similar, which point I might say this offseason's been a solid B for the Lions. That's my grade so far. What's your grade, Duke Crew? I'm liking a lot of different things. I'm liking what we're doing directionally wise. I do, now that you kind of see what we've done this offseason, go back and revisit last year's draft, maybe even the draft before it, and see what we could do this year in the draft. I think maybe Brad Holmes really has a sound plan for sustainable success, something the Detroit Lions haven't seen in their organization really since, throwing the crickets, because I don't know if they've had one before that. All right, let's get the show rocking and rolling and going real quick. Before we do, though, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 9 subscribers away from hitting 13,400. So if you can help out with that, I surely would be thankful. Also, if you have half a second of time, reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but never least, if you are considering looking for housing, property, whatever it may be, if you need somebody to work on your behest, try to use over 30 years of their experience to help save you some time, save you some money, make the process a whole lot easier, stress-free. You get the whole shebang bang. Go ahead and give me a call, shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. You see the number on the screen. Hey, if it's vacant land, new house, commercial building, fallout shelter, everything in between. And yes, a couple of you guys have contacted me about fallout shelters. The only thing I'd say is if you really want one that is going to hold more than 2 or 3 people, you're probably having to spend some cash. Those places aren't cheap to build, let alone maintain. So food for thought there. All right, with all that done, let's get the show rocking and rolling and going and get into the first segment of the show, which, as you know, is 5 Headlines Now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming at you. So let's get it going. Lions agreed to reunion with wide receiver story by Douglas Fritz, Clutch Points. This came out yesterday. A number of you guys contacted me about it. I just wanted to save it for the morning show, unless it's, in my opinion, just, for the timing of the day and stuff, unless it's really just something that caught all of us off guard. I didn't get or find the time to go on air. But Tim Patrick did resign with the Detroit Lions yesterday. It's a nice move for the team. And if you pay attention to a lot of the moves this offseason, man, the Lions team from a year ago, obviously it won 15 games, and that's with 4 billion injuries on the defensive side of the ball. You start seeing that they're getting the band back together. We really haven't lost too many guys. We have lost Kevin Zeitler and a couple other people here and there, but it does seem like the core abilities of this team really are going to be unchanged. I've been saying to you guys for some time, it's my anticipation next year's Lions team will be the deepest, strongest, best Lions team that we've seen maybe in most of our lifetimes. I mean, there might be a couple teams you can throw out there and say, hey, real close to this one or that one. I still think the 93 team and last year's team are amongst the, say, 2 or 3 or 4 best teams I've ever seen in Detroit. The 93 team, man, it's just too bad Brett Favre went the opposite sideline against him. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Tim Patrick, I think most of us do talk about and think that he was a key part to the Lions, at least as far as wide receiver depth. I don't think this precludes the Lions from addressing this further in the draft. It just doesn't put too much burden on whoever they should draft and try to develop. I think you can just kind of bring that person along. Tim Patrick, could he fit what John Morton seems to want to do in the offensive schemes this upcoming season? A bigger body, opposite sideline, Jameson Williams. It does seem like that could be the case here. And you know what? The dude does run block. We all get it. MCDC has said for some time, if you're not willing to block, you're not going to go out there on pass patterns for the Detroit Lions. He does fit the whole shebang-a-bang. The fan base loves him. The teammates love him. Seems like the coaches love him as well. So you know what? A good move by Detroit. And another one that's not been an expensive move. It does feel like a lot of the signings we've had are kind of team-friendly deals. Tim Patrick, I get he came off a couple injuries before we got him last year. He played on an incredibly cheap deal last year, 1 year, just over $1 million. This new deal for him is a pay raise, but again, it's under $5 million. So you look at all the people the Lions are acquiring on 1 year deals, prove it deals, whatever you want to call it. It does seem like the Brad Holmes is being very financially responsible, which I think all of us would expect out of him, while keeping the core units in play. All right, let's go on to the next of the 5 headlines now. Yeah, boy, exclamation point. Lions signed former Jets tight end after local beat writer has premonition dream about it. A to Z Sports by Mike Payton. Payton mostly covers the Jets, but yes, Dave Burkett did report yesterday the Lions were able to sign him. This is mostly going to be a depth piece, I believe, for the Lions. Maybe there's some sort of situation where if the Lions go multiple tight ends, he can start. But, hey, the guy's a run blocker. He is a grinder. He does have a little bit of speed and ability to get out over middle routes, etc. But this guy, 100%, he's going to be involved in the Lions running game because of the blocking assignments. Dave Burkett broke the news yesterday. Again, something I wanted to say for the morning show or this particular show. Lions have been poking around tight ends a little bit as of late. Dave Burkett writes they've talked to a few in the 2025 NFL Combine. There's a need for tight end because the Lions are not bringing back Zane Zylstra or James Mitchell. Right now, the team only has 2 guys. So with this signing, maybe there's a little less need for the Lions to go after tight end in the upcoming draft or undrafted free agents, etc., etc. All right, let's get ahead and get to the next one. New Lions defender reveals he turned down better offers to join Detroit. Fan side story by Javion Alford with this one. Hey, when we got Reed, I think most of us said, it's not a bad move, not a bad pickup, but it's a move that nearly didn't happen. Talking to Reed, it does appear that he had other offers. Now, why am I bringing up Reed? Because another Lions defender also reiterated the same thing, and that would be that excuse me, man, I can't talk right now. I got something in my throat. But Lions, a new linebacker, Grant Stewart, who came from the Indianapolis Colts, basically repeated what a lot of the other free agents are signing. Reed had some options, more guaranteed money, and a lot of these other guys are kind of reiterating the same thing. They all chose the Detroit Lions for a couple specific reasons, whether they played against the Lions and saw how the Lions organization ran from the front office on down, saw the interactions between players and coaches, just whatever dynamic you want to throw out there. Most of these guys are saying they chose to take a little bit less to come to Detroit because of the culture here, because of the fan base here, because of the coaching staff here, because the front office here. So Stewart was one that kind of really went on to some quotes here. I'm not going to bore you guys with all of it, but the 26-year-old core special team player said he did have a couple options to get a little bit more money and a lot more guaranteed money, but chose Detroit. And this is something, like I said, that was repeated by Roy Lopez, Grant Stewart, DJ Reed, the whole shebang. I think what we've talked about a long time with the Dew crew is that you could see where the Lions are beginning to separate themselves from many other teams in the league. Not all teams in the league, because there are some that really prioritize player health, safety, experience with their teams. And Detroit does seem to be leading the pack with that. So kudos to the Lions and Brad Holmes for all that. All right, full grades for the Detroit Lions' first week of NFL free agency, where Brad Holmes passed and failed. Story by Mike Payton of A to Z Sports. There were about 4 or 5 different publications this morning that had similar stories. I'm not going to go through each of theirs. We're just going to stick with this one, give you guys some thoughts. Let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree with any of these thoughts. Let me scroll to the top of the screen, and I will give you the Mike Payton's grades here. All right, he's going to start off the new Lions. As far as DJ Reed, he gives Reed an A. And again, Reed could have went somewhere else and got a little bit more money. He thinks as far as a cultural fit, how they worked into the cap, Reed's numbers, his overall impact on or expected impact on the team, going to give him an A. Roy Lopez, he's going to give him a B. Lions needed some depth in interior defensive lineman. Lopez, it sounds like he could be a real big fit here. We'll have to wait and see. Grant Stewart, we just went through. He's mostly going to be a special teamer. Me, myself, and I'm indifferent on him signing. I just think he is potentially somebody that could get cut because I think that this team will be that deep. And if they add a few more pieces, Malcolm Rodriguez kind of really recovers from the ACL. Maybe he's here, late in the year. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Wait and see. But Peyton gives him a B minus. Kyle Allen, B minus as well. There are a whole lot of people speculating what this signing means for Hendon Hooker. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I want to believe that Hendon Hooker's got a future here and a quality one. But we all saw what happened last year in the playoffs where, they brought in another quarterback to be the backup for the playoffs. Now you're signing Allen. Could be something's in the works for Hendon Hooker. All right, retaining Lions or returning Lions, however you want to word it. Levi Onwuzurike, I agree with this grade 1,000%. It is an A-plus move. Onwuzurike has some abilities. And if you just watch the last, month of the past season, he might have been one of the top 15-ish defensive tackles in the whole NFL. He's got abilities most people don't when it comes to just raw athleticism. And we've talked about that, exponentially on this show. I like the fact that he said, hey, you invested in me. You allowed me to recover from just a massive back injury and gave me time to do it. You didn't rush me to do it. I'm going to do you a solid, the Detroit Lions. I'm going to take a team-friendly deal, 1 year prove-it deal. If he does prove it, Lions going to be a tough spot a year from now, what they can do with Levi. Do they resign him, et cetera, et cetera? Worry about that a year from now. Marcus Davenport, probably like a lot of people, Peyton gives his a lower grade. He gives him a D+, and I get it, man. The guy's got some abilities. I'm not saying he's generational talent or game-changing talent, but let's be fair. He does have some talent. Unfortunately for Marcus Davenport, as we all have talked about 100 times, he just can't stay healthy. So if he stays healthy this year, at that price tag the Lions actually get him at, when you look at his contract, that'd be a heck of a steal. Ezekiel Turner, I know most of you guys don't love him. I'm indifferent on him. I do think he has some athleticism, maybe for special teams, sort of like we were talking about with Grant Stewart. Could fill in there, but really, special teams doesn't seem like as big a priority as it once was. He gives him a C minus, and I won't fight him on that grade. I would probably go a D though. Anthony Pittman resigned. Anthony Pittman on the other topic, he gives him an A. I think it's an A+ move because the depth you put at linebacker plus his impact on special teams. I do think Anthony Pittman on special teams is an ace, maybe one of the better players in the NFL. Trevor Nowaski, he gives him an A. Hey, we all get it. He's the Sam backer. He had some moments last year, some flashes. Guy's got a ton of athleticism. Maybe one of the more athletic linebackers in the NFL. He got some sacks. He got the interception or two, something like that. So his versatility is probably his best strength. Maybe if he keeps developing, this guy could be something of a difference maker in time, but he's not there yet. Quick grades real quick. Craig Reynolds, he gives him a C. Dan Skipper, a B. Miles Adam, an A. Michael Neese, a C minus. Now, as far as losses, the big one is giving me Kevin Zeitler. I think most of us would agree with that. Peyton gives him the Lions an F for not re-signing him. It's unfortunate. It sounds like more and more as you've heard Zeitler talk about things once he left Detroit, that ultimately at the end of the day, it came down to one thing. He wanted to be closer to his family. Tennessee achieves that. Cutting Zadarius Smith, he gives him a D for it. thinks that, freeing up cash was good, but at the same time, you need edge help. So Brad Holmes appears to have a plan this offseason. I'm not going to really throw stones at Brad Holmes until I see the full plan. Then we can all assess. Ife Melifonwu, he gives the Lions a B for releasing him or letting him go, I guess you'd say. We get it. If he's got some abilities, is it generational abilities? No, but at the same time, he just can't stay healthy. Miami kind of gave him a prove-it deal. Could he have got that in Detroit? Sure, but it sounds like Detroit just want to move on and go in a different direction. Carlton Davis, he gives the Lions an A for not re-signing him. Now, in his full report, he does mention he gives them an A because they got DJ Reed. If they wouldn't have got DJ Reed, this probably would have been an F for the Detroit Lions. Carlton Davis, a lot of good things about him, but you can see where in the last few years he's been injured more and more. So that's why he feels like the Lions probably made the right move and not overpaying for him. Jalen Reeves-Maybin gives him a C. Kendall Vildor a C. So there's your grades from Mike Payton with A to Z Sports. You guys can have your own grades. By all means, throw them in the comments section. If there's anybody you strongly agree with, disagree with, whatever, let me know in the comments section. All right, last of the 5 headlines now. Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold, let Brad cook. Detroit Lions on SI by John Macron. A lot of people like TA. Some people thought, man, they want to throw some stones at him. Here's what I'll say. The kid was a rookie last year, but you can see a lot of growth from not only on the field, but a maturity standpoint. I've used the great quote from Scott Mitchell on the show many times. Hey, maturity isn't an age, it's a destination. And I'll say this. I think Terrion Arnold is pretty mature for his age. He also wants to point out to Lions fans when asked in this piece here, we don't know the full slate of things that's going to go down for the Detroit Lions this offseason, where the team will be next year. We only know that Brad Holmes keeps doing a good job. He does point out, TA does point out that until we see the full product done from Brad Holmes this offseason, when everything's rolled out for the regular season, that's when we'll be able to have a good idea what he did, didn't do, and have some grades on it. Arnold, I think he's going to be the number 1 corner in Detroit sooner versus later, and that's no disrespect to Amik Robertson or DJ Reed. When I watched him last year and watched his development, plus the work he's putting in this year, maybe it's this year he becomes the number 1. If not, he's going to be a real legit solid number 2. I like the kid, and hopefully you do too. All right, with all that sun dead out of the way, let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. All right, we just talked about minutes ago that the Lions, could they have re-signed Kevin Zeitler? Should they have done more to re-sign him without overpaying? It sounds like they tried. It sounds like, Brad Holmes did make him a pretty good offer. It would appear, although nobody really knows, this is all speculation, that's somewhere between $7 and $8 million. Zeitler got $9 million to go to the Tennessee Titans on a 1-year deal, and it does sound like at the end of the day, it wasn't the money that was the big factor. It was the ability to be closer to his family, and I get it. He's going to be 36 when he steps on the NFL field next by all matrix, so he is going to be a little bit older. It does sound like the Lions, just like when Carlton Davis left, they quickly already had a plan in place to try to replace him. Part of that plan is Brandon Sheriff, a 5-time Pro Bowler. Now, he's played with a gajillion different teams over his career. I want to say he's 33 years old, started all 17 games in 3 straight seasons for the Jaguars, allowed 0 sacks in just 17 quarterback pressures on 625 pass blocking snaps last year. That's pretty productive, and that's a mouthful to have to repeat to you guys, by the way. Sheriff would also be cheap to sign. It is speculated that he will land a 1-year deal somewhere in the $6 to $7 million range. Now, if that sounds incredibly similar to last year's situation with Zeitler, you'd be spot on and correct. Zeitler had a 1-year deal worth a little over $6 million. But if you can get this kid, and it does sound like the Cincinnati Bengals are also trying to sign this guy. So Lions are in a bit of a bidding war. It also sounds like Brad Holmes has a couple other people in play in case they can't get him. But, Dira Sharma, with Sporting News, amongst a couple other places, are reporting that the Lions are in negotiations with him. Who's ultimately going to get him, I don't know. But for the right here, right now, let's just Scooby-Doo this. You let Zeitler go. You can get Brandon Sheriff, and you save maybe $2 to $3 million overall versus re-signing, I should say, Kevin Zeitler. then you know what? Maybe the Lions did make the right move because the Lions are always counting dollars and trying to save some cap. Now, what they're going to do with that cap, I don't know. I'll leave that to you, Duke Crew, to decide what they're going to do. But that offensive line seems like less of a priority to me if you can go ahead and get them. If you can get them, you start Mahogany. We all get it. You got Frank the Tank in the middle. You got Taylor Decker on one side, Penei Sewell on the other side. That offensive line's looking pretty dang good. Plus, you've got somebody, Kobe Scorsdale going into his third year, and then Giovanni Manu going his second year. Maybe you add another piece or two in free agency or the draft. But the Lions' offensive line probably in pretty good shape. And what real holes do you have on this team outside the defensive edge? You've heard me talk. You've heard me ramble. Would you go for this guy? Would you be okay with the Lions getting Sheriff? Would you think they dropped the ball on not getting Kevin Zeitler? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, and let's get over to you guys and see what you guys have to say about this, and maybe just a little bit more. Let me scroll to the top of the screen. Give me a minute. There are more than 2 comments, so I am going on up to the top, and here we go. JDC, morning all, back at you. Burger time. Good morning, JDC. JDC, good morning at you, Bert. Burger time. Good morning, Dan. If we can sign some help on the edge overall, I'd be happy with free agent period. Now onto the draft. Could it be that we get somebody in for an edge rusher? There are some guys out there. I don't think there's any premium players left, but at the same time, this has not been a great free agency class to begin with. There's been some nice players, but not a lot of great players by any means. Lions probably have done the right thing and not overspending at any particular position. One thing I would say to all Lions fans to consider, look at the team right now. If you can get Sheriff, really, what holes are there? It's not at running back. It's not at quarterback. It's not at tight end, although you probably are going to ultimately have to get another 1 or 2. Offensive line, maybe a little bit more depth. Defensive line, outside of edge, it does seem like we're even deeper now than we were a year ago. Maybe you could see linebacker depth or cornerback depth, but you get it. It's all depth on the team. The starting spots, although there may be one edge spot, should be pretty sound. All right, break time. Let's go, Lions. Woo! Back at you, Henry Moore. Good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! And thank you as always, Henry. JC, go Lions. Drake, good morning. Anyone know who it is? I didn't recognize the person to pick. Yeah, Brandon Sheriff. And so he's played for the Washington Commanders, I want to say. He's played for, most recently, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hopefully we can get him. I would not be upset with that signing. Man Bear, top of the morning to Duke Crew and Dano with the rest of the day to me, to myself. Hey, go enjoy that day. Have a great day, my friend. Brent, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew. We can't outbid the Bengals? Question mark. Sure hope we can. Who knows, man? And I don't know. The story does not have the full details. If it's just $1 or a year thing, we'll have to wait and see in time, Brent. 5 Fingers Frantic. Good morning, Duke Crew. Hey, Coach. Thanks for your other channel. Hey, no worries, man. I hope you enjoyed it. Watched it this weekend. Even made some cash off it. Yeah. Hopefully you enjoy it. Anybody wants to come over and check out the channel. It is Monday through Friday, roughly 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until roughly 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, Man Bear. All right. Yeah, we're getting ready for St. Patty's Day, aren't we? So small. In my opinion, I think we're done. We've done a great job with the free agent moves so far. Really aren't overspending on anyone. No, he's, for the most part, Brad Holmes really hasn't made any big deals. You could even argue the vast majority of these deals are incredibly team friendly. You've got so many guys under or around $5 million on a 1-year deal. They're your plug and play guys. Their familiarity shouldn't take much to bring them up to speed. Quick ingredients, salutations. It just seems like Brad filling in holes. Yeah, so he can do whatever he wants in the draft days. Yeah, in the draft, I would agree with that. When I think if nothing else with the free agency, you're making sure there's not this one big area that must be addressed ASAP. Risk the biscuits to go get it. Now, we've been talking about it for I'd say a few days now on the channel. I do anticipate the Lions are going to make a trade up on draft day in round 1 to acquire a more targeted person of interest and probably for the edge. Burger time, Brandon Sheriff. Yes, that is who it was in the photo. Jessica, I hope everyone has a great day ahead of them. I wish we could have retained Zeitler, but if we can add a quality offensive lineman, I think the free agent window will have gone well for us. Yeah, I'll go with that. 100%. Agree with it. Dennis, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew. Same to you. Burger time. He's a guard, played with Jaguars. He's good. Yeah, he's not bad at all. 100%. Pat, love the love the Duke crew and this channel. We love you too. Always positive. Beep. I don't have time for negative people. Yeah, there are some people that, hey, just want to, yell and scream at the clouds, and just that's what you want to do. Go do it. Drake, thanks, Lions Fanatic. Burger time, no problem. Drake, David, good morning. All ready, O-line and edge are the only things left I feel we still need. Am I wrong for thinking that? No, I'd say you're probably spot out, other than maybe some depth pieces at other spots, but, to each their own. Voltron Force, good morning, Duke crew, and with you. Let's see, Eddie, greetings, salutations. Good call on that burger time. I think he's older, but if he can hold up for a season or two while we grow a replacement, I'm down. Yeah, and I think that's kind of where Brad is thinking. I don't know, but that is my speculation. David, good morning, all. Same to you, Dave. Hookadoo, good morning, Duke crew. One pride, good morning, bird time. Grit wins, 100%. That is the backbone of this organization at this point. Bird time. Yeah, I believe he's 35 years old. Yeah, somewhere right around there, 32, 35, somewhere in that window. Dre, JDC, Dre Force rocks. Andy Rose, bird time. Good morning, brother Hookadoo. Hope all is well, bud. Go Lions. Trey, what's good all? Question mark. I know everyone wants that big name splash, but Holmes is keeping us rolling without overspending. No, I think you're spot on. We're going to have enough cap where we're probably either going to be able to re-sign some people this year or roll it into next year and then do the same thing. He's leaving a lot of flexibility on the table. Jason and Brad, we trust 100%. Hopefully the Tree of Destiny is resting and recharging. Tori, so who will we target in the draft? Man, ain't that the $1 million question? Burns, people aren't mentioning Rakestraw a lot, but wasn't he drafted at the beginning of the second round? He was listed the second or to fourth best corner in the draft. Yeah, right now I think he's just an unknown quantity, Burns. We all believe he's got some potential. We hope he does, but until he gets on the field and proves it, it's all speculation at this point. Bird time, I'm praying a lot for edge help. Yeah, I think most of us are, man, 100%. France, personally speaking, only I am going for Green. Tori, yeah. Mike Green is a lot of people are all over him because of that athleticism, because of that motor he's got. I mean, I don't think there's anybody watching the channel that would be upset if we got him, or who's the other one? Pierce. That dude is incredibly athletically gifted. I know there's some reports on Pierce that maybe his personality isn't the greatest. I don't know, man. I haven't watched him. I haven't listened to him. So I'm absolving myself from speaking on it because it's something I don't know. Dale, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. Same to you, Dale. Paperback fan, greetings, salutations, Duke crew. Happy Saturday. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Trim Reaper, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Woo! And woo back at you, Trim. Bird time. I like Green and Sawyer. Yeah, Sawyer's another one who would be probably on some people's radar. I do wonder if he would be a first-round target or a second-round target, though. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Fill in the offensive line, go after edge early in the draft, question mark. Sounds like our man Brad has a plan. And that's the tough part. When the first day or two of free agency hit, there were a whole lot of Lions fans that you just want that big mega move that you're like, yeah, we've got this to lean on. This is going to take us somewhere. But now as you sit back and watch, as some teams have spent a lot, giving up draft capital to acquire players, all that stuff, we haven't. And you know what? We've more or less had the same team that won 15 games last year, but getting healthy and adding some depth while remaining with all of our draft picks for the draft in a couple months. All right, Brett, hope we sign him and then draft Wyatt Mullum from West Virginia. I'll check him out. Hookadoo, Stephanie Water, he is cooking in the kitchen, always cooking and keeping you out of the kitchen so you don't know what's happening. Dale, Holmes and Campbell sure do take care of our own free agent players. Quality men, both of those guys, continued on-field success will follow. Yeah, and Dale, like we're pointing out with, one of the 5 headlines now where you heard Reed and a bunch of the guys we brought in this year say the same stuff. The players are seeing what the front office and the coaching staff are doing for the players. And because of that, if I have an opportunity between team A and B, I'm taking A if that's the Detroit Lions. So we can all say maybe we only re-sign our own guys, whatever, but also look at the emotional impact that's having across the NFL when guys have to choose where they want to go. If they have options, they're choosing Detroit. All right, Susan Scott, good morning. Just waking on up. Dale, Brandon Sheff, it is. Lions Talk Live fan, Trey Hendrickson. Let's go get him. I would not be upset if we went and got him. I ain't giving up a first-round pick. I probably wouldn't even give up a second-round pick unless we got other considerations back. Ken, good morning. Duke crew. Woo! And back at you. Famous RW, greetings, salutations, coach and crew. time to get better. The NFL is becoming even more competitive. It is, man. Just the quality of play, coaching, the whole shebang bang. You're right with that. Dennis, C it is. JDC, Puff, woo, coffee, and Lions Talk Live. That's a good morning for you. Frank, take A+. I'll go with that. Tyler, give me a Ric Flair. You want a Ric Flair? You know what? It's been a minute, so let's do a 1, 2, and a 3. And there's your Ricky Flair. You know, if you yell Ric Flair into the mirror 3 times, you know what happens. Burger time. B+. Aaron, Brad, B. Let's see. Brent, C. Tyler, B. Boone, C-. Coach Rock, good morning to all the Duke crew. We will get all of this all figured out yet. Woo! Yes, we will get it all figured out. Derek, B+. Miles Meyer, Brad, C. And average free agents for Holmes. Okay, C on average. See, Trump, A+. Vincent, C-. Facts in 60 seconds. Good morning. Dan Skipper was not very enthusiastic during your opening dialogue. Might want to tell him it's actually funny. It is, man. It is accidentally funny 100%. That's why it's there, man. I mean, when he sent it over to me or agreed to do it, I'll put it this way. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know if he knew what a woo was or anything like that, but that thing is like picture perfect in that opening segment. And I'm glad he resigned just so we don't have to change that. Hookadoo, Brad Holmes, B. David, Brad, C-. B-, C+. Rodney, B. Keith, good morning and greetings, salutations. Dan and the Duke crew, exclamation point, go Lions, Super Bowl bound. I like the way you're thinking. Henry Moore, A-. Bradley, woo! Clicking on Brad gets an A-. 15-2. Come on. I'll go with that. Yeah, he's doing a great job. Paperback fan, C+. Trina Conway and Christina Conway, good morning on this Saturday. Thank you for the great update about the Lions. Can you say, woo? And you and the family have a safe and blessed day. Back at you. Right now, I get him a B+. I'll go with that, Trina. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day in Kalamazoo. Miles Warrior, good morning, Hookadoo. Brent DeWitt, Grit, Trim Reaper. Brad Holmes gets a B+ for me, A- if he lands an impact defensive end to help Pelch. We'll see what happens. Brent, good morning, Miles Barker and Hookadoo. Randy, B+. Brad is still cooking. You're not wrong there, man. Brad is always on the move. David, really need edge probably from the draft. That's where I'm thinking more and more. I mean, I hope the Trey Hendrickson thing happens because he could impact right away. But as far as the long term, that's where I think they're probably going to lean on the edge. But could you make a move for Hendrickson without giving up the first and second? If you could do that, man, I would be really happy. Hey there, Miles Meyer, top of the morning. Go Lions. I'll go with that. Trump's burp. Bradley, excuse me. Who's got rain yet? I think it is raining here, if I'm not mistaken. JT. Hey, DT, good morning. Back at you. Hopefully it is a great start to yours. Michael, Lions going to be better than expected this season. I think so too, man. I think Brad Holmes kind of reveals himself to a certain degree, and he feels, man, if your team just doesn't have any holes and you got superstars in the right spots, you stay healthy, you're probably competitive more seasons than not. Hookadoo, morning, Brent DeWitt, Roar Detroit. Robert, greetings, salutations. Trumps, people that complain about anything with the Lions are under 40. Could be true. Keith, B+, I do not give out A's, all right? Keep the A's to yourself. Boone, 21, don't get the higher grades. Can it improve? ? Sure, as it stands, we're worse on both lines. Defensive end has been a problem for years, and to this point, without a proven stud added, will continue to be a problem. Let's see what they do. Maybe they can still do something this year. Martins, my fallout shelter is big enough for me and the dog. There's a nice closet for the wife and kids. There you go. Sullivan, who is this 5-time Pro Bowl guy? Brandon Sheriff. He played for the Washington Commanders and the last couple of seasons with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Henry Moore, that sounds better than peanut butter and jelly on gold. There you go. Trumps, I could give a rat's bahootie about the Super Bowl. I'm just glad we're a competitive team. At the end of the day, man, there's a whole lot of truth to that, I think, for a lot of us. The fact that we're complaining about not being in the Super Bowl, but after decades of not even making the playoffs, it's kind of nice to be in playoff and Super Bowl contention. Break time. That 93 team was special. Dang you, Brett Favre. I'm still haunted by that. Me too, man. I still see him rolling out. I remember being out there watching it and stuff. Oh, you could see Sharp breaking free. I think it was Ray Crockett that just had eyes in the backfield. He just got flat-footed for a second, and really that's all any NFL receiver, let alone a Hall of Famer, needs to get significant distance. give Favre credit because he rolled out to the opposite sideline, had guys bearing down on him, and the fact he located Sharp, man, good for him, but bad for the Lions, man. Oh, God, and I can still remember we had the game. We could have put it away. Eric Kramer, Lions got down on, I want to say, like the 4 or 5 yard line, and if they would have scored that touchdown, game probably would have been over. But, Kramer, one of his worst passes ever, rolls out one side, throws back across the middle, which you should never do, and it's picked off and rumbling, bumbling, stumbling backwards. Let's move on from it 30 years later, I guess. Miles Meyer, facts in 60 seconds. Skipper's woo is very funny. Yes, I concur. Rather, I give out D's. All right, D's it is. Southwest, I really don't care about nothing if it ain't an edge rusher. Well, let's see what shakes out in the future. Dale, Coach Dan is the man. Thank you for that. Oh, yeah, and you're the man. We're all the men, or people. We're all the whatever. I don't know. JDC, Magic 8 Ball says defense wins the big one. I'll go with that. Trump's draft best defensive end available. I think that is probably going to be the plan. I won't be surprised if we trade up in the draft. Trim Reaper, it's been howling winds on Lake Superior here the last 24 hours. It got a little windy here yesterday, probably worse where you're at. Derek, good morning, Coach and crew. We had a great year last year, even with the injuries. This idea that we need some big name, a big money player to rescue us is hornswoggle. All right, in your opinion, we'll go with your opinion. David, JMO is a great blocker. He does a pretty good job with that. Trumps, why in the heck are we signing a tight end when we need a defensive end? Well, maybe they need both. Facts in 60 seconds. Miles Marger. Ken, you know I'm all about the O-line and improving it and its depth. B for me. Think they need to add more here. Yes, they probably do. Coach Rock, wondering if Jared is going to step up and take a pay cut to free up some money. We'll find out. Nine Drees, good morning, Duke Crew. Early for you, my friend, I know, or late in the day, however you want to word it. Love this show. Go TP. He knows the offensive expectations now. Can't wait. Yeah, and another year of him staying healthy. Hey, maybe he regains even a little bit more of his speed. Drum Reaper Bradley, I give out D's too. There you go. Trumps, the new tight end will never see the field. Probably not often, but maybe in certain situations. Bradley, Trim, laughing out loud. Bet. Brett, new tight end is probably a camp body. Yeah, could be. Henry, get you a glass of water for that dry mouth, Coach. Yeah, I forgot to bring one up for the show today. It happens, man. Trim Reaper laughing. Reaper, Aziz Ozaria. Yeah, I wonder if we will try to get him. He's often injured, so sounds like a Brad Holmes type dude. Bradley, Henry, big tall glass. There you go. Smash the like, y'all, says Thomas. Jim, Brad Holmes, B+. Facts in 60. Lions are lucky to have signed Patrick for more year. Why not sign him for 2? He's worth the money. That I don't know. Maybe he only wanted a 1-year deal, kind of prove himself again this year. We'll go out and try to get a multi-year deal. Either that or nobody was knocking on his door. Thomas, after seeing the mental state of the players Brad has picked up, I'm loving these free agent signings even more. I agree with that fully. Trump's Holmes is doing a great job. Anyone remember Russ Thomas? I do remember Russ Thomas. I know where you're going with that. Thomas, facts, and not 100% agree. Thomas, Trumps, I do. Trim Reaver, I think Hooker is getting traded. The problem with the Hooker trade is other teams aren't oblivious to what's happening in Detroit. If you benched him, basically, if that's what it was when he brought in Teddy Bridgewater, saying, hey, we're going to use you instead of you, and now you're signing another guy, I'm just not sure what the trade value would be for him. Maybe a 7th-round pick, a conditional 7th-round pick? I don't know. I guess we'll see. George, Hooker getting the hook? Maybe. Thomas, it told me everything last year's playoffs when Hooker, who's in the system for 2 years, got benched for a guy who didn't play all season. Yeah, but that one guy did have a lot of starting experience in the NFL. But to your point, I get what you're saying. Vincent Eat, Nowaski, good depth? Yeah, 100%. Don Kong, A, I'll go with A. Thomas, Kevin Zeitler, we didn't sign him, and he got a $9 million contract. Hopefully Brad knows a lot more than we do. Yeah, if they get Sheriff or somebody similar to him, I don't think it's a significant drop-off, but I will say this. Last year, Kevin Zeitler was one of the best guards in football. George, Mario, A+. Trumps, we are stocked just to take care of me and O-line. All right, we'll take care of the O-line. Brett Nowosky has a high ceiling. Keep him developing, 100%. Trim Reaper, yeah, A. Defensive end says Trumps. Don Kong from the get-go, Zeitler said he made the move for family. The YouTubers just decided they were going to leave, and that fact out. I think I've stated it a bit there, but I can't speak for other people there, Don Kong. Chad, that's good, Coach Dan. Greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Woo! What are we doing for backup quarterback, hooker, lefty? We'll find out. Duncan, Brad Holmes is the best GM ever. As far as Detroit Lions go, man, I'm surprised he doesn't already have a statue out in front of Ford Field. Frank thing, other teams don't see special teams important, but we all hear Dan Campbell's special teams is huge. Go Lions. I agree with that. Anymore, Hooker has been here a couple years now. He hasn't made any kind of splash. He should go. All right. Thomas, Zadarius Smith cut. Smarter if we can re-sign cheaper. I hope we do. I like the guy. Hope we can bring him on back on a cheaper contract. Thomas Henry, 100%. Don Kong. Brad gets an A for everything he does because he is awesome. I'm down with that. Trim River, ain't no need for name calling. Yeah, no need for calling anybody names. George, hopefully Z Smith will be back on a rotational piece. I like it. Keith, Hooker who? Question mark. Time for you to move on if you want to play at all. Okay. Brian, Brad Holmes gets a D minus. Okay. Trim Reaper, maturity isn't an age, it is a destination. There you go. Drums, I hate it when auto spells respells your words wrong. It does that sometimes. Gets me all the time. Don Kong, Brad Holmes, A. Michael, Roy Lopez, a 315-pound beast. Yeah, and I know my brother Tim sent me his presser. I watched it when I was driving around or whatever. And yeah, he's definitely got a little panache in him. Let's see, Thomas, I truly believe a key to our defensive backfield is Rakestraw. Will he develop? I think so. But that's because this coaching staff seems to always develop players across the board. I don't have any kind of inkling that Rakestraw is somehow going to be different than everybody else. Berg time. TA will be a lot better this year. He improved every week last year. I really like him. Me too. Rakestraw will be solid this year, says Dunk Kong. John C. Okay. Henry, I hope that Z was released. Was the plan to get out from under those bonuses just to re-sign him and be a team-friendly deal? Might be, especially if other teams don't come knocking on his door. Trim River, Sheriff sounds good to me. Me too, man. He just retires, maybe, Henry. Rocky Arnold is learning the toughest position in defense. Where else do you get put out on an island by yourself? Everyone gets to say, he should have stayed with that guy and broke that up. Yeah, a tough position, a lot to learn. And let's also be fair, Coach. Since the 90s or whatever you want to say in NFL history, the rules for helping the offense and making it harder for the defense keep going up. Arnold's really in a tough spot, like all DBs. I like Manu and Mahogany. Me too, Trim. Trumps, what team would you rather play for, Cincinnati or Detroit? That is a phenomenal statement there. Vincent, Mahogany is a beast. I think so. Derek, if Rakestraw plays well, we will have an awesome DB room, and it will give our defensive line that extra step or two they need to get to the quarterback. I think so. Trump's Cincinnati is not good. Miles Marker. Rocky, you might be right, bro. TA will keep getting better. He should. Yeah, him, Rakestraw, they're both so young, man. They should continue to grow and develop. Rocky, the opening receivers are pretty good now. The opposing receivers are pretty good now. It's a tough class for the rookie cornerbacks to learn. Rakestraw is the next to go to school. Good luck to him, too. 100%. Facts in 60 seconds. Lions signed Kyle Allen for competition in camp, as they do every year. Hooker will be here. Might be. Trim Reaper, I'm not disappointed losing Grandpa Zeitler. He's probably not going to be as productive with Father Time creeping in. I'll go with that. Frank think DJ Reed will be the number 2. Arnold will be number 3. Okay, Robertson. All right. Let's see. McGloria, your hidden origin. Yep. All right. Kurt Steele, hope you're feeling better, man of Steel. What up, though, Duke Crew? How you doing? Derek, we were 9 sacks off the sack leading team. I believe Hutch, Danport, McNeil could have made up those 9 sacks. Yeah, probably true. 100% true. Trim River, everybody wants to be Irish like me once a year. 100%, my friend. Keith, I want the Lions bring back Z and go heavy after Trey Hendrickson. Then do what you have to do. Draft Mike Green, go Lions 14-3. Super Bowl bound. Woo! I'll go with all the above. Derek, let's see. Andrew, Derek Lewis, K. Trump's 16-1. Woo! Let's make that happen next year. Frank Tang, there are holes on this team, not even defensive edge. I'll go with that. Trim River, smash that like button for the best coach in all the land. Woo! Yeah, if you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Rocky, for depth, we got Skipper. He can play anywhere. Maybe true. Keith, you have another show, what and where, or am I wrong? Winners and losers, stocks in the housing market. It's on Mondays through Fridays, roughly 9:15 a.m. until 11 a.m. If you want to watch people who day trade live. You can ask questions, even do some learning. Just keep in mind, we are not financial advisors. We're just people on YouTube expressing what moves we make in the markets. Any more 15-2? I'll go with that. Bill, what's your over-under on games Davenport play? I say 3. You know what? I'm going to be a positive Pete. I'm going to say he's going to play 9 games next year. Rocky, don't Brad and Dan say a Super Bowl in their 5th year? I don't. Didn't they say it? That I don't know. Maybe. David, Dan Thornton can play anywhere also. All right, we'll see if I can. Silver, good morning, Coach, and everyone else. Same to you. David, I am vacationing in Cambodia right now. Woo! I hope you enjoy it, my friend. Derek, Coach, the winners and losers show is a winner. If I had your money, I'd throw mine away. All right, fair enough, man. If anything else there, Derek, just come on over, enjoy it, learn some things, maybe even get a little entertainment. Trim Reaper, from undesirable to undeniable! Exclamation points. Let's go, Lions. Woo! Oh, yeah, I'll go with that. 9 drinks. No news on the draft yet. Really weird this year. It's really new for us Lions fans. Yeah, in so many past decades, this time of year, that's all the news was. Mock draft this, mock draft that, Lions making this move, that move. It is kind of a different reality for us, the fact that we're just kind of sitting back and just letting things happen. Robo Kent, I like how Brad operates. No sweat on this on his brow. Build to the draft. Let the vultures pick at the remains. Go Lions. I like it indeed. David, one good thing to consider, the Bengals are a cheap team. Yes, they are. Notoriously. I mean, we talk about Brad being cheap. Well, there's a whole couple of about 5 layers down. You find the Cincinnati Bengals. Hey, more, if I was a new coach with a new plan, I'd throw a barbecue and then the players over and discuss my plan with them. Yeah, good idea there. Nothing wrong with that. Charles, good Saturday, y'all. Super happy to see Tim Patrick get re-signed. Exclamation points. Holmes and MCDC are the dudes. They want what we want. Let them do what they have been doing. I hope we find a way to get Z back, though. Yeah, me too. Trim Reaper laughing. Aaron, check out Boston College. Ed's Donovan. Boy, I'm going to kill that last name, so I'm just going to say okay. Keith, just getting our team healthy, exclamation point, is like adding another Pro Bowl player. 14-3 and Super Bowl bound. You are right. Getting healthy would help. Silver, Coach, I like the whole lot of the players Lions brought in. Reed, Lopez, Stewart, also so forth and so forth. Brad did really well, and I believe there is a whole lot of Dan Campbell in those choices. Yeah, I would agree with you. A lot of the same type of personalities, from what I can tell. Brian, we need to move up in the draft and get best edge rusher and trade hooker. Woo! All right, let's see if we do it. I hope so. Trim Reaper, Rick Flair, I'll let you say that 3 times in the mirror. Phil, good morning. Good to see you, Phil. Phil, oh, yeah. Pierce just woke up. Who are we trying to add? Brandon Sheriff, offensive guard. He's played for the Commanders and the Jaguars. Scott Young, I don't see a team scoring 24 points on this D while the offense scoring 35+. I'll take that. Pierce, oh, Sheriff, I could see this happening. Me too. I like it. Me too. Get some veteran presence in there. Pierce, I want to win that Super Bowl. That's why we do this. I'm down with it. Corey, exactly, Pierce, but we need another edge to win the big game 1. Yeah, I'd say it could be that we wait for prices to come down on a couple guys that we can add on to the cheap veteran guys on the edge. And then, yeah, maybe in round 1 or 2 or whatever, continue to build the edge department. Keith, I trust Brad Holmes with the draft, and MCDC is the best. 9-8, 12-5, 15-2. What next will be, ? With that tough schedule, 14-3. I'm okay with it. Players win games, defense wins championships. I like it, Scott. Silver, hey, Coach, do you know what? ? I am sad to see Vilder go to the Bucs. I might be the only one. I would have re-signed him. Good depth and stays healthy. He does stay healthy. He is good depth. Maybe he was just kind of tired of the situation here and just wanted, a new, fresh beginning. Who knows, man? Maybe the Lions just didn't want to re-sign him. Corey, I think you're the only one. Okay. Trumps, anyone remember the missed field goal against San Francisco? You talking about, with Eddie Murray. Yes, yeah, I do remember that. In Monte Clark. There you go. Pierce, Silver, the head, but Ukura is burned into my brain. There you go. Pierce, does anyone else remember that headbutt ball by Ayuk? Yeah, off the face mask, 100%. Phil, heavy thunderstorm about 3 a.m. There you go. Derek, Hailstorm woke me up at 5:30 this morning, so I watched the end of the Lions versus Packers game, Week 14. Then went for fourth and end of the game. Yeah, the fourth down to end of the game. I was worried we wouldn't get it this time, but we did. Hey, when it works out, everybody's a fan of going for it. When it doesn't, then everybody's throwing stones, right? Brian, it's crazy. Most fans want playoff games more than Super Bowl. Pittsburgh Lions till we get a Super Bowl. I'm down with that. William, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew. Woo! Grade A. I believe the Lions will draft the best edge rusher in the first 2 rounds. Brad has a plan. Most importantly, knows the biggest needs. God bless. And back at you, my friend. Black J.R. Jones. Offense wins games. Defense wins championships. Probably true. Pierce, is he often injured? He is also 30. Might be. Vincent, Tim Patrick, 31. He'll be 32 in November. How about that? Josh, signed Judon to Detroit by today afternoon or tomorrow morning. Let's see if we bring him in. Corey, if I'm Hooker, I don't care. He's wasting his career here. Might be true. The Trim Reaper, I remember Mayhew. Yeah, how about that? Brent Aziz, not great at setting the edge. All right. See, Coach Rock, Trump Saginas, that is a dirty word where I come from. Rush Blanket, Russ Thomas, laughing out loud. They couldn't even have a day for him in Detroit. Yes, 100%. Trim Reaper, I met Millen. All right. It's Matt. Glad to be back watching the show again. Welcome back, Matt. JDC. Woo! Miles Margaret. Welcome back, Matt's. There you go. And yeah, welcome back, Matt. Silver Server. I think that when they brought in Bridgewater for the playoffs, did not look good for Hooker. No, it did not. Silver Server. I bring Zaboom back, but would he come? I think it's going to come down to whether or not he gets other offers from other teams. If Zadarius Smith gets offers from other teams, he's probably going to make the best deal for himself. I mean, no disrespect. This is what he does for a living. So he's probably only got 1 or 2 contracts left in him on 1-year deals. Vincent H., Silver Surfer, I agree 100%. Let's see. Brett Roy Lopez's interview had me thinking that we just signed Rodrigo's big brother, laughing out loud. Oh, yeah. Trump's special team was very important before they sissified the game and changed the kickoff rules. They did change it. 9 drinks. Ray Crockett, one of my favorites 30 years ago. A long time ago. Yeah, and I was always sad when they let him go to the Broncos. Matt, getting rid of Vilder, A++++++. JK, if he's is a bust sound. Okay, Trumps. How about re-signing cornerback Wayne Smith? Maybe. Scott, do we still have Jake from State Farm? I believe we do. State Farm, yes, indeed. Amy Spry, good morning, Dan, the famous, fabulous Duke Crew, exclamation point. Have a great day, everyone. Back at you, Amy. Hopefully it is a phenomenal day for you. Trim Reaper, Grant Stewart is a nice Lions main. Yes, he does. JK, St. Tim Patty Day Monday. Yes, it is indeed. Trim Reaper, what up, though, Kurt? The Hitman. Yes, the Hitman is in the house. Trumps, no way would I leave this country. All right. Trim Reaper, hope you're feeling better, Batman. Kurt's Steele, I am feeling much better. Thanks, Dan. Anytime, my friend. Mr. Ed, good morning. Dan and the Duke Crew, great chat. As always, good to have you there, Mr. Ed. JK, National Everything You Think of Wrong Day. All right. Kerry, Derek Harmon, and Jared Ivey is what we need. Let's see if we can get them. Phil, maybe Dan will get credit for the Lions' greatness now that Johnson is gone. Maybe he will, man. And, yeah, Dan's done a great job revitalizing the franchise. Burns, Vilder got a lot of undeserved hate. He was the 5th, 6th, and he's not supposed to be very good. I don't want to be paying my 5th cornerback $10 million a year. I'll go with that. JC, happy trails. Go Lions victory. See you next time, my friend. Coach Rock, hope you're feeling better. Kurt, seems as though I got a touch of something now. Yeah, it's going around. Keith, Ray Crockett, and that backfield was awesome. Woo! I'm down with that. All right, guys, if there is one more here. When you start planning your team next year, Coach, it never stops, man. There's never an off day, at least not in my mind. All right, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. Before you all check out, if you would be so kind, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit all the buttons, help the channel out. Take care, be a good human being, do something kind for somebody you don't know, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus?
Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism?
Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology?
Or nuclear power?